GLC isn't just a charity, it is a work of transformation. Be a part of this. This is a movement, and this movement needs you. In the world of men, we are taught that to be silent is to be strong. Men have never been encouraged to speak. We are an organization that rescues and rehabilitates adult men living on the streets.
They come actually very, very hopeless. Some of them are very suicidal. But by the time they are leaving this place, they are energized, they are ready to leave, they are ready to go and start again, because majority of them basically have lost everything. They have lost everything back at home. So even when they are here, they almost don't see why they should continue living, because they have nothing to go and live for. But interestingly, by the time they are done with the program, they are really looking forward even to going out there and give their all.
Hi guys, karibuni sana. My name is Solomon Gitau Kilanga, team leader GLC. GLC is Greater Life Concern. This is a rescue facility where we rescue adult men and women who live on the street. So we have both a women's center and a men's center, and I run the men's center. This is where we are at GLC Men. Karibuni sana. We are located in Gatundu, which is behind the Gatundu Level 5 Hospital near the Gatundu Locals. Our office numbers are on our website, www.greaterlifeconcern.org. You will find us on Facebook. You can contact our office number 0740280106 or 0725106700 to get directions to our place. Now, what is it we do here in Gatundu? And what generally does GLC Men do? We are an organization that rescues and rehabilitates adult men living on the streets. Look around you, in your families and everywhere in society. Look at the suffering of men. Even in the streets where there are street families, the consequences for the man who becomes a street person are far worse than for the rest of the street family community. He is totally despised by society. This man has nowhere and no one to turn to. He has no safe space and nobody wants to hear him out. In case you doubt me, let's quickly look at the situation. You who's there in your home, every time you come across a street child, I think you're very eager to give them a bag of chips, buy them a packet of milk, or do something for them. And when you come across a woman living on the streets, especially if she's got a child on her back, you will very quickly buy a loaf of bread and a pint of milk. But what happens when you come across an adult man in his beard and his rags? Most of you tend to take off. Most of you tend to shame this person. So the challenges for the street man are more than are normal for the average other person in the street. And those are the men that we rescue and we rehabilitate. I happen to have been one of them. Many years ago, I lived in the streets. I spent quite a bit of time there because I lived in the streets. I carried a sack for at least 3 years. And because somebody gave me that chance to get out and transform my life, I chose to do the same. So I give guys in the streets a chance to transform their lives. So how do we do it at GLC? We have a 90-day program. This program basically consists of what we call the 4 R's. And the 4 R's are simple. The first R is rescue. Rescue is just the physical removal from the streets and the gutters in which these people find themselves. Once physically removed from there. But I must point out, number 1 at the very top of the list, we only deal with the willing. So the person must be willing. It doesn't matter how low you're sunk. If you're not willing, you're not our business. If somebody is willing, bring him into our facilities. Currently, we are at Gatondo. For a long time, we had been in Isili, then we went to Eastern Bypass. We were there in Rio for quite a long time. And last year in October, we moved here to Gatondo. And I must thank all of you guys out there who have been part of this, who have been part of, helping us to reach other people and even getting us to where we are. So we now bring this person to our premises, which is here in Gatondo, and we go to the second stage. The second stage is rehabilitation. Now, rehabilitation comprises of two parts. One part, which is very important, is the Word of God. Because we truly believe that nobody can return you to what He meant for you to be other than God who created you. But two and equally important is that this person must undergo a lot of psychotherapy, a lot of counseling. So for the Word of God, for the spiritual part of the program, we work with a lot of churches. Thank you to all the churches who work with us. Thank you, Zimulimani, PCA Kahazukari, churches like Regis Baptist Church, Ruaraka Baptist Church, Sikram, and so many other churches which have formed around us and continue to send us their pastors and people from their churches, their Bible study groups who come to help our people. That's the spiritual part. And the other part, the counseling, the psychotherapy. And for that, we thank the various universities that are partnering with us. We thank places like Park University that send, they keep on sending. When their people are going out on for their attachments, they are sent to GLC and they help us. We have a lot of other private counselors who just choose to come and work with us. And that part is important because men have never been encouraged to speak. In the world of men, we are taught that to be silent is to be strong. So whatever problem this man was facing out there in the streets, this man has never had a safe space into which to speak out his real problems. Coming and getting in touch with a counselor where he's able to speak out his real problems, the actual things that have taken him into this addiction, is a boost for him because he gets to address his real issues. Now we come to the reconciliation part, which is the third part of the program. And in case you find that people coming from these situations will have left people behind who they hurt. It might have been families, it might have been wives, it might have been parents, it might have been bosses or people they interacted with in the past and they hurt them or were hurt by those people. We make sure, because before we take this person back into society, the significant others of whom he had caused hurt or had caused hurt to him, we bring them together for a chance to reconcile, because even if he goes back into that world, si hawa tu ndio anaenda kukutana nao. So after the reconciliation, we come to the fourth and final step, which is reintegration back into society. Most of our guys are guys from the streets. So these are people ulitoa mtu ndani ya gunia, you cannot tell him to go back into a sack. So we look for them, we tafutia them jobs, vibarua kidogo kidogo, we help them in saving their money, or we look for them something that will help to put a meal on their table, and they can then work themselves up from over there. And we thank you, our partners out there, all the people who have employed guys from GLC. Thank you for the work that you are helping us in doing. So you might be asking yourself, how do we get to these guys, or how do these guys get to GLC? So for the street guys, so originally from a long time we used to go out to the streets and bring guys in. But we've been around for a very long time. Actually, GLC is not a new venture. I myself am a product of GLC. GLC, just to give you a short background, GLC was formed, first started in 1996, close to 30 years ago. It was started by the late Bishop Absalom Dungo. Bishop Absalom Dungo used to live in Isili and was touched by the plight of all the adult men who were living on the streets, sleeping on garbage heaps, and there was nobody who cared about them. So in 1996, he came across an adult street man called Muturi and Muturi asked him for something to eat, for 5 bob or something like that to go and eat, and the bishop asked him, would you like God to transform your life? Muturi agreed. Bishop took him home where he was living in Isili. He had a small room, akamweka hapo. He gave him the word of God. He gave him a roof over his head. He gave him food to eat and water, of course, water to bathe. Muturi transformed, and that transformation was so swift. Within 3 months, we would not have known that Muturi was a former street person. Bishop had just fulfilled what the Bible commands us to do. When you see the naked, clothe him. He had clothed him. When you see the hungry, feed him. He had fed him. When you see the poor wanderer, provide him with shelter. It is a command that not many people are able to do, but it is a command that he was able to carry out because he also sheltered him. That is how GLC began. They fed, they clothed, and they sheltered. That was 1996. So fast forward, in the year 2000, I was living in the streets. I was a street person, and that is the way that I came across the bishop. Some other guy we were living with, long story, but some guy we were living with on the streets came across the bishop. He then started talking to us about the bishop and what the bishop is doing, and eventually, in the year 2000, 26th March, the year 2000, I met the bishop for the first time, and this man helped transform my life. Now, the kind of background I came from was not a background that the trajectory should have led there. I was a guy from a comfortable background, but I had ended up living a life that I would not wish upon any human being. When I got help from the bishop, I decided I too would help any other man going through the problems that I was going, never to be able to fall into that kind of situation that I had fallen into. And that is why I do what I do. To sustain the project and to sustain the people who we are helping, we have a series of projects. One of the things we do is farming. We have some little land on which we farm various crops. We do some rabbit keeping, some chicken keeping, but we are looking to how we'll expand agricultural activities. But more than that, we are in partnerships with a lot of churches and individuals. And thank you to all of you out there who are partnering with us, because the amount of food that is necessary to sustain the people that we take in is a lot. And it is coming directly from you, the supporters outside there. The clothes that we need to clothe them, because we clothe them. This person comes out of the street with a sack and no other clothes. And the clothes he may have are often full of lice and other, they are dirty, they are full of lice. Those are not wearable clothes. So when this person comes in, we have to provide a complete change of clothing. We have to provide soap and water. We have to provide a roof over their heads. We have to provide the blanket. We have to provide the food. We have to provide the medication these people are coming in, sometimes they are sick. And all of that is only coming from partnerships with you, the people who support our program. And we thank you. I ask many of you, many more of you to join. Because GLC is more than just a charity. GLC isn't just a charity. It is a work of transformation. So many of our families are affected. Look around you. How many men are suffering and how many more men are going down that path? Maybe you're not affected, but you probably know somebody close to you. Or maybe you personally are not affected, but possibly in your family. There are issues about a man, his drinking, his alcohol or drug problems, and the path he's making towards homelessness and the streets. Be a part of this. This is a movement, and this movement needs you. You can support us by coming to visit. You can support us by going to our pay bill number, which is pay bill 891300, account GLC, and donating what you can to support. You can support us because you might have some maize or some beans or some shoes, or maybe you might just have a word that you would like to come over and share. Your Bible study group would probably like to come over and share. Please come, let us work together. I thank you, all of you who have been so kind to us, who have contributed to us, who have partnered with us, because through your partnerships, it is only your partnerships which have brought us to where we are. And I thank you, even you behind the camera, Duncan, because even this video is just a partnership. Somebody from among you came and offered to do this thing and get us online. First of all is to see the transformation of another man's life. To know that I have helped in turning around the fortunes of another man. Understand me, at the age of 34, I was living in the streets. At the age of 34, I was covered in lace. At the age of 34, I was helpless, hopeless, had attempted suicide, and even death had rejected me. I had nothing to look forward to. The life I was living, I would not have wished it on anyone. But at the same time in my mind, I would have given anything and everything to be able to get out of that misery. But there was nobody who would have given me a chance. There was nobody who would have believed in me. I had cried wolf far too often. The bishop gave me that chance. The bishop did not give me a handout. He gave me a hand up and said, I will always be there to give other men a hand up so that they may raise from their problems. Join us. Let us be the ones to give these individuals a hand up. Karibu to GLC. Welcome to my office. Let me show you around. You see that everybody in GLC must have a Bible. Thank you to all those wonderful partners who bring these Bibles to us. They ensure that every person here, for there is one part of the rehabilitation process that is so important, and that is the Word of God. And as you can see, we are not short of Bibles. Thank you for all our wonderful partners who partner with us in this. This is Bishop Absalom Dungo. This is the man who got me out of the streets 25 years ago, March 26th, the year 2000. This gentleman is the one who helped me get out of the streets. So, Karibu, really sit around here, and as you can see, our mission is to give every willing street man a way out and the opportunity to lead a meaningful and productive life
by providing compassionate and comprehensive rehabilitation services to men seeking to overcome challenges related to addiction and mental health. But do you see the key thing there that is capitalized? Every willing man. In this month of mental health awareness, I ask men, think about that part, the part to be willing to at least seek help.
Welcome into an ongoing class session.
Hi guys. Endelea tu. Endelea tu. He's going to introduce himself. He's a resident here. He's one of the beneficiaries of this program. Mimi nataka ajiintroduce kwako, alafu akupigishe round hapa ujione the other parts of the center.
Okay, hello. I'm David. Mimi ni part of the GLC. Nimeletwa hapa juu ya ulevi ya pombe. Nilikuwa natumia pombe, moka, chavis, sigara. Yani name it, kitu yote ilikuwa na make high. So thank God nimekuwa nikisikia kuhusu GLC. Nikaona venye na transform watu huko nje. Pia mimi nikakuwa inspired kuwa transformed. So that's why niko hapa. Sasa nitakuchunguza sasa penye tuko hapa saa hii. Hapa ni penye huwa tunafulia nguo. So tukifua nguo zetu tunazifulia hapa. Tutamka hivi hapa chini. Hii ndio kitchen yetu. This is our kitchen. So hapa ndani ndiko sisi upikia. Sasa tukimaliza kupika hapa ndio tutakuja tunatulia kidogo. Ndio tunafanyanga tunakuja kushare stories zetu tukipeana nguvu. Then ukienda hivi hapa chini tuko na garden yetu. Hapa ka small garden here. So hapa tumeilima hapa juzi kidogo tu ndio tunaplan kupanda sukuma. So hapa tuko na tudogi. Hapa tuko na tudogi unaweza tuona tuko na small puppies. Then ndio toilet yetu. This is our toilet. Then kuna hapa base zingine huwa tunatulia. So pia jua ikiwaka sana tunakujanga chini ya hii mti ya avocado. Ndio tunakuja tunatulia tukipiga tu story. Then tukiboeka sana pia pale kuna tunachukuanga gym. So sisi unajua saa zingine ukiwa umekaa hapa mwili unashikananga kidogo, so tunakujanga hapa tunachukua mawe kidogo tunafanya exercise kidogo. Then maji yetu tunatoka hapa tunakuja tunaleta hapa kwa tank. So hiyo ndio compound yetu. Hapa ndipo wewe ushinda. So welcome huku sana niko huku ndani. So hapa ndio kitchen yetu ya huku ndani. So tukipikia huko nje place nimekuonesha. Tutakuja tunaserve hapa. So hapa ndani hii mnaona hapa hii store yetu ya chakula. So hapa ni Ruby. Hapa huwa tutumii sana tunaikanga tu kama store ya kuweka vitu zetu wakati tunazitoa huko nje. So this is our sitting room. So hapa wakati tunakula sapa hapa ndio tunakuja tunatulia. Tukiangalia news. Unaangalia news hapa tunatulia hapa hadi masaa 4. So after that tukimaliza kuangalia hiyo TV ama tukiwa tumetulia hapa kuna rooms zetu utaziona. So after that kuna huko ni bedroom zetu. Bedroom zetu ziko hapa. So hapa ndipo tunalala. Hiyo ndio yetu.
My name is Jane Gitao. I am a counseling psychologist, an accredited mediator. I am a mother of 4 and I'm married. So I've been with this particular rehab, GLC, for quite a number of years. I started with them back in 2010, and I have been with them to date. Though when I kicked off with them, I was playing a different role, unlike now, whereby today I actually lecture in this particular rehab center, and I also offer personal therapy to the clients, of this particular rehab. And it has been a long walk and a good one, watching men coming and even now ladies, because right now this rehab is hosting ladies, though in a different in a different place. To see these people coming so down, so defeated, so hopeless, and I see their journey, and I've seen them come from down to to a place where they're able to achieve their goals. And I think that has been my joy, to see somebody coming in quite hopeless, and given time and given support. Because if there's anything this rehab offers is good support. So with that support, I've seen somebody with a very hopeless mind coming back to their senses and starting up something. I have seen them write up goals, and we guide them on how to follow them through. And I have been able to watch them acquire victory, not just in here, but even out there. And it is very, very good. I think the best thing one can ever do to any other person is giving life. And that is exactly what this rehab does. It gives people back their life, because they come actually very, very hopeless. Some of them are very suicidal. But by the time they are leaving this place, they are energized, they are ready to leave, they are ready to go and start again, because majority of them basically have lost everything, They have lost everything back at home. So even when they are here, they almost don't see why they should continue living, because they have nothing to go and live for. But interestingly, by the time they are done with the program, they are really looking forward even to going out there and give their all. And so this actually has been my joy, giving back life to these men and women who are very, very hopeless, and whom actually the society have discarded. And so this is a very, very special place, because there's nothing as good as you receiving back your life from people who don't even know you, from people whom you never thought that you'd ever interact with. And that is exactly what has been happening in this particular institution. And so I actually wish this particular institution well. I pray that God will give this institution favor, to have more people who can come and partner with them, rather partner with us, so that at least we can be able to give more hope to many more Kenyans. Because surely this thing, it has come to a place where a very high percentage of young people, young men and women, and even old men, have actually gone into drugs. And it's unfortunate, because I'm not sure that our government is doing enough to ensure that this thing does not continue. And so we have, since we are the government, would rather come just together and partner and agree to support our society, because every other family seem to be crying, because if they don't have somebody who is directly connected to them, they have somebody they have to care for out there. So let us come together and support our brothers and sisters, and more so support this kind of institutions that are ready and willing. They have given themselves out to be used to transform lives of our brothers and sisters. Thank you so much.